G'day everyone, how you going? Yeah, not much. So today I've got another special guest on my third episode. We're three deep, and what I say is, it's usually first the worst, second the best, and third the one with the golden drum kit. That's what they say. But here we got Big D, Big Dan Kerby from down in Melbourne, another lockdown member. How you going, brother? What's going on?
Not much, not bad, mate. Doing well in isolation down here, brother. I'm just locked away in my little den right here. We call this the home base, DK Drums. I'm just locked away in my little dark room with no windows, just chipping away, mate, staying safe.
Mate, you're just probably one of them other ones that hasn't realised there's a lockdown because you're in a room, just no windows. It's like being in a studio when, you don't realise how much time passes when you've been in there for so long. Yeah. So is that how you feel? Like, is time going quick for you down there?
It varies, man. In this room, I used to love sitting in here all day. When I first got this room, I'd just sit in here and just I'd have the TV on and just froth out. But now I can't wait to get out of here because it's just dark, man. It's great for a few hours. Yeah. But then I just like to go home and get a little bit of, bit of light coming through the windows and stuff like that. That's it, mate. A little bit of interaction. You're the first person I've spoken to in 6 weeks, brother. So that's why I've had this penciled in hard since Monday, just counting down the seconds.
I remember, because when I hit you up the other day, it was on Monday. I said, "Hey man, what are you doing on Friday? Do you want to do a quick potty?" And you're like, "Mate, Friday can't come quick enough."
I was like, yes. I've been listening to the potties. I've been loving the potties. I love the one. I hit you up for a pre-release with Josh's one. I was like, hey, bro, send us a link before it even came out. I love it. Your first one was hilarious, man. I was going for a walk, as you can do in Melbourne, for 1 hour a day. I was going for a walk and I just had your first potty on, just having a chuckle, mate. It was gold.
Oh, that's good. Well, getting those steps in with you.
Yeah, man, you're with me on my morning walk. It's great.
How good. So
Josh's one was fantastic.
Oh, I was actually speaking to Josh before. Actually, here's a funny thing that you and I think we connect with is when we chat, you are one of the ones that when I ring, you're more than likely usually in a car. So we've already stuffed up this podcast. We should have done a road trip podcast instead. Hey, mate. Let's just do blockies for an hour, and I think it'll be great because that's where you and I think when we do when we have our chats, I think to myself these could probably be great podcasts because we just time flies when we're driving.
We go hard. One of the best conversations you and me have had in the last 6 months is when you bought a new computer and I just bought a new laptop and I just feel that excited to talk about how sick the new programs are and how much cool shit you can do. Yeah,
but when before we started, we're still having hiccups, trying to understand why doesn't this SD card work in this thing? What's the purpose of it? It's nothing. We're still not. We've got tech, but we're not really tech savvy,
bro. Yeah, as I quickly mentioned before, I've been doing a whole bunch of drum videos, and I just realised I've been bouncing them out at the wrong. I don't even know what you call it, bit rate or something, or setting. Been bouncing them out the wrong setting. It's a journey, brother. I've got 2 cameras set up right here because I don't know if one of them is going to turn off, But
it most likely will.
You just got to go. You just got to go.
You definitely click record though, didn't you?
Hey, you know what the good thing is though? How's the lighting set up on both of us?
I know.
Hey, those softbox lights. Incredible shit.
I know, but if you ask me what have I got, what kind of softbox is this? I'll have no idea. I've got to look and read what it is before I tell someone. I'm like, no, I don't know. Just big light.
Got the cheapest one I could get.
Who's your go-to for kit when you need new stuff?
I've got 3 guys. I've got Peter John. He's from Sunshine Coast up your way. I've got Benny Mac, who's my Melbourne boy, and then I also got a guy Lachlan to come in when I first set up. I've been filming all these drum lessons. And had Lockie come out and just kind of tell me what I need. I said, this is what I want it to look like. So he kind of was nice enough to show me. And then I was just calling Benny Mac before and Pete, just harassing them as politely as I can because I got no idea what I'm doing, man. But it's good, man. It's good to have those people in your corner. It's important.
It's all about networking, but having mates with a certain skills that as long as you can bounce back and help them out, like it definitely helps a lot. I think
as long as it's not just one way, it's good.
No way. But like with me, it's like I hit up Kurt, and I've said it a few times, but without Kurt, like none of this would happen. Like I'd be filming on my phone, and I'm like, is this good enough?
Yeah.
But it's not. And then I look at Kurt's stuff, I'm like, man, that's incredible.
I've been obsessed with this for the last few months. Like Jen laughs at me because I just sit at home on YouTube watching tutorials on everything. Like that's the fun Saturday night to me. Just like tutorials on cameras, on lighting, audio, everything.
So with lockdown, is that how you've been? Have you been doing a bit of like learning throughout this period?
Oh, bro. Yeah. Mate, I have been going hard. So I've been doing online courses like marketing courses, video courses.
Oh, really?
Man. I've created my own drum course. I've written a friggin' book. I've written a drumming book. And with that book, I've done I've done correlating videos to all of the beats in the book. I've done like 300 beats. Like I'm probably 70% of where I want to be with the first phase of it. It's something I've wanted to do forever, but it's a disgustingly large job. It is. So anyway, so that's what I've been doing, which has kept me sane, man. So
Well, I was going to say, when lockdown started here in Queensland, I was almost like, in a weird way of saying it, somewhat excited, because I'm like, all these projects that I've wanted to start, I'm going to give them a crack now. For example, the podcast. It's just like, look, now's probably never been a better time than ever. I don't really have an excuse. I'm just going to go in and just have a crack at it. But for you, with this extended period, you're able to do some projects that will definitely continue on, like, past this pandemic. And I think that's awesome.
Like, this is, it's amazing. It's a bit of a catalyst to change. Right? I've been wanting to do the online drum course thing forever, but the reason I never did it was because I never had any time. And I remember thinking, fuck, I wish I could just have 2 months off everything. And I'd be able to get something done. I've had like 3 months off, but I'm not done yet. But it's sick, man. It'll change things moving forward.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to change things. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Well, with like you said before, you're 70% done. Do you reckon you'll actually get to a stage where you are 100% done?
No, it'll never be done. So phase 1 is like a thorough beginner's course. So if you wanted to learn the drums, I'd say, no worries, Liam. Yeah. Here it is. And every question that you have got, everything that you need to learn, from what is a drumstick, right? Yeah. To shredding pretty well, playing songs, it's in there. And then it just keeps going from there, up and up and up and up. But I found the hardest thing was the initial setup of it, because it's like, well, how much detail do you go into? Like anything, when you're teaching someone something, it's like, well, say, for example, if we were doing a thing on podcasting, it's like, well, what's the fluff on your microphone? Like, it's like, how deep do you go? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was hard to figure out how deep to go. But I figured it out. Yeah. So anyway, from here, it's fun. Like, I want to get to the point where I can just bang a song out, transcribe it, boom, there's a song for you. Learn this sick feel, like fun stuff. You know what I mean?
It's exciting.
It's cool.
But yeah, like I was chatting to Kurt the other day about being creative and like doing ideas yourself. Like, nothing is ever really 100% done. Even with writing music, you can write a song, you release it, but then when you hear it, you're just like, it could have done this. It could always be that little bit better. So to me, nothing is ever. You can do 100% effort, but nothing is ever technically 100% done, ever.
No, it can always be better. You just gotta pull the pin at some point and wrap
exactly,
it up.
Exactly. So I think if you can, like, you're at 70%. To me, you've only got 20% left to go, because at 90%, that's good enough.
No, I've got a pretty clear thing of where it's got to get to, and it's already gone way further than what I wanted to do. A 6-week course. That's what I set out to do, And I thought, this is what I thought. I was like, I thought I'd just kind of quickly whip it up and I'd like promote it and I'd teach it live and then I'll be like, oh, I'll just promote it and then I'll just bang it out. It'll be easy. But no, it's disgusting. But it's cool. It's good. It's a good process.
That's good. You put that pressure on yourself and I'm sure you're going to deliver. I can't wait. Because actually I've seen a little bit of the behind the scenes. Or is this another project that you've showed me that you've got happening that are... Look, you've got heaps going on. Like,
yeah, that's the beast, that one.
So Dan's got this thing, I'm going to call it a vlog cast. They're like, because the video content like is just as good as the audio content because there's just so much going on. But and you've got great guests. And tell us a bit about what's happening with that, what you got coming up.
Okay, so I'll condense that down quickly because I could ramble on about it. But basically, it's a drum show, right? The whole concept is travel meets drums. It's myself and Frank Zumo from Sum 41. I did a video with him when he was in Melbourne. The video turned out crazy. Basically,
it was crazy.
It's like I literally had him for 2 hours, right? He was here for Download Festival. We were chatting. He's like, we should do a video. We should do something cool. I said, no worries, leave it with me. And long story short, insane video. Go pick him up in this crazy car he lands. I get to his hotel room. He's in not his hotel room, the lobby of the hotel. Walk into the lobby with the camera crew. There's like Pennywise, Sum 41. Everyone's just sitting in there looking. And grab him, put him in the car, take him down this like famous graffiti lane. And because he does Street Drum Corps, it's like a drumming group they've toured with The Used and all these crazy bands. And I'm like, all right, let's play some drums on bins and like just shit down the alleyway. So we start jamming, film that, and I'm like, sweet, I've booked a boat. I've got 2 drum kits in a van I've hired. Let's quickly go. The boat leaves in 15 minutes. So we fucking jump in the car, drive to the river. I've got like a crew of 5 legends doing it just pretty much for free, right? Grabbing drum kits out of a van out the front of Crown Casino, walking with bass drums 100 meters to the boat, putting it on the boat, going back, getting like a kick pedal or whatever, get it on the boat, cruise out. We can't, and anyway, I'm carrying on, but like the day before I saw this guy with the boat because my director Pete was in town. He's like, let's go just have a look around, like some stuff we can do. Saw this director, I saw this guy on a boat, on this crazy 1920s boat. You can look it up. And he pulls up. I'm like, hey, brother, do you ever let anyone go on your roof? He's like, what do you mean? I kick him off. I'm like, would you let a couple of drummers on your roof? He's like, I guess so. I said, sweet, book me in tomorrow from 5 to 7. You know, cost a bit, cost whatever. I was like, let's put drums on the roof, cruise around. I'll give Frank the sickest tour of Melbourne ever. We'll play drums, 2 hours of power. I'll take you down the iconic lanes. We'll do some street drumming. I'll take you on a friggin' boat, give you a tour of the city. Then we'll play some drums as the sun's setting, and then drop you at your bloody hotel. Fucking boom, did it. Sent it. And Frank saw it. He's like, holy shit, we need to make a TV show. So I'm like, boom, let's do it. I said, I'm coming to LA like in 2 months. Let's do something. Anyway, so it's a travel meets drum show. And then we did one with Ben Gordon from Parkway at the Supercross here, which was like that
was incredible. That whole...
Oh, bro.
That got televised too. I remember seeing it and just being like, I want to know the scenarios that Dan has gotten through to get to this point.
Oh, mate, that was 2 months of my life. Every day. 2 months of my life convincing people that this is sick. This is sick. Trust me. Like, so I'll give you a bit of backstory about that, right? Which is sick as. So we basically wrote, like Ben Gordon was in, Parkway were in Melbourne for Download Festival, or one of those festivals, Good Things or something. He was in town like 2 days before it. So he's like, okay, it makes sense. I was like, mate, it's going to be sick. There's 40,000 people. There's fucking fire and shit. It's going to be crazy. So he's like, cool. Sold it into him. And then, anyway, we were meant to have his cage. Like, you've probably seen him with his upside-down spinning cage. And anyway, we wrote the whole solo around that. So basically, I was going to solo and get risen on this riser, which I did. And then he was going to do his solo and end up upside down. Like, we kind of wrote the whole thing about that.
Were you trying to
Anyway.
get in with the upside down thing? Like, I want to be involved in that one.
No. I probably would have taken it for a test drive, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. I went through so much for that. Like, my head was in a weird space. This is what I wanted to do. Because he had the upside down cage. I was like, fuck it. I'm coming out on an army tank. I'm gonna fucking get... I gotta get an army tank. I'm gonna paint that son of a bitch the same color as my drum kit. I'm gonna have my drums lit up. I'm gonna fucking come out in an army tank while you're spinning. This is gonna be the most ridiculous shit ever. And I'm writing all this in emails and stuff. And I found an army tank. I fucking booked it in. Like, I was ready. And the people that had the army tank were like, yeah, mate, do whatever you want to it. So I was like, fuck yeah, sick. I'm gonna do the sickest shit anyone's ever seen. And then the army tank, because it's an actual army tank, it's 8 ton, and Etihad Stadium can only handle 2 ton. Otherwise, you fall through the grass into the car park, man. So I'm like, right into the production manager going, yeah, hey bro, that's Dan Kerby here doing a drum thing. I'm coming out on an army tank. It's 8 tons. Is that all right? It's like, you will fall through the grass, man, into the car park. Like, who are you? Yeah, I got an army tank booked in, mate. I'm fucking coming down. So anyway, I had to wrap that up. But anyway, so that was like, that was like because I was in the headspace. I was like, fuck, I've just come to Young's house in Los Angeles. What's next?
Yeah,
fucking army tank. Let's go.
How good,
you know?
But I know you and your mentality. It's just like, if something like gets kicked in a touch and you have to put it aside, just like, okay, all right. Well, guess what? This is what we're gonna do now. You're straight onto the next big idea. Like,
yeah. I was like,
I love it.
Bang, straight on the phone. Hey, yeah. So the 8 tons too heavy. Do you have any 2 ton tanks?
Just a 2 ton tank.
Oh fuck! You know
so
what else
good.
I was doing? I was calling truck drivers I know. Hey, g'day, mate. Do you still, because Monster Energy had this fucking big semi-trailer that was black and Monster. I was like, I'll do a Monster themed thing. It's the Supercross. I'll fucking come out on the roof of the semi-truck, drive out, big introduction things. So, dude, I was aiming for the stars. And anyway, I landed somewhere up there because it was fucking epic. But it was a lot of work, man. And a lot of mental...
that would have been draining. But when I saw the video, I'm just like, you know, when you see someone just progress and then they're finally hitting these just massive goals, you just when you're a friend, when you're like a good friend, you're just genuinely so stoked for what's happening and what you're watching. And I remember watching all this, just being like, this is so good. Like, this is actually making me so stoked to see it all come together, because I know behind the scenes how much work was actually involved to get to that stage. Because I know that shit doesn't happen overnight. No way. It's just like, but it's like, it's just that so one thing leading to another, just different roads that have just led you to that point. And it's so awesome to see it happen. But no, that's great.
Cheers, man. No, it was, that one was sick. I know the guys who run that event or own that event. There's 2 guys, Bailey and Sando. They're friends of mine, but they're cool because they're young. They're like my age. They run this massive event and they got it. They're like, okay, it's like the Bliss Eso drummer or whatever. It's like hip hop. Initially, it was like hip hop versus Parkway, like Parkway Drive, and they got it. Like, I went into their office with my laptop and said, this is what he does, man. Like, this is an upside down drum kit on fire. You guys can have this. And they saw it and they're like, fucking sick. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like,
so good.
Whereas if they were old, you know, maybe if they didn't get it, or they were like, it was just, everyone was willing to fucking do something different. Cool.
Yeah, just have a crack. But it definitely, to me, it paid off, because it was just like, a lot of people that went to the Supercross that night were just not expecting that. Like, but it was still just as entertaining as seeing backflips on motorbikes and fire and all that. It's just like, this is still sick. Like, this is the best intermission ever.
It's probably cooler than like someone coming out playing a couple of songs. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly. Well, it's entertaining. Well, to me, like, out of all the instruments to be played, like, drums are definitely the most exciting to watch.
Yeah,
because
they look
you got
sick.
everything happening.
I just thought of a funny story. So we filmed an intro to that. So this show's coming out October. Frank and I are releasing this. Funny story about the Supercross was Ben knows how to ride motorbikes. So my whole thing was like, let's create a little pre-movie of us getting into the venue, right?
Oh, that is honestly the most hilarious thing, that movie, because
Yeah.
But before you get into that, when I watched that, like I said at the start of this, is you and I gel really well when we're just talking on the phone, like when we're in the cars. When you keep going, but the way that you are on the phone is exactly how I know you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that? So I was like, we'll come up with this sick intro where when you're at the stadium and you're watching this drum off, the lights go down, and on the big screens, there's a video plays of me and Ben getting to the gig, right? Yeah. So that's actually played before our video when you're just watching it on the internet. That played on the big screen, okay?
That's so good.
So you're there. So I was like, I wanted to come out in an army tank. I wanted to fucking come out and all this shit. And Ben, I was like, well, let's just come out on motorbikes. We're at a motorbike event. Ben's like, yeah, sweet. I can ride a motorbike. I'll just drive myself out. I was like, I rode a motorbike once and crashed straight into a fence. I can't even turn one on. Like, I work for Monster, but I can't turn one on. So anyway, I called up my mate Harry Bink, who's a sick freestyle rider. He was there. And I was like, hey, man, I'm doing this thing. Like, it'd be sick if you could do this video where I jump on your bike and you ride me into the venue. And then on the actual night, you ride me in. So we shot this thing, and Harry's a madman. Like, Ben's kind of on this little pit bike, and Harry comes around on this big ass bike, does a skid in front of me, and I jump on, and he just floors it, and we take off, and we get to the end of the car park where we filmed it, and I could feel him laughing, like he's like, I'm like, you laughing? He's like, yeah. I was like, what are you laughing at? He's like, I've never been held that tight on a motorbike. He's like, no one's ever held me that tight on a motorbike. He's like, have you ever been on a motorbike? I'm like, nah. He's like, oh, shit, sorry, man. I would have gone a bit slower because I jumped on and he just fanged it and I just went, ah!
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, no, it worked out for the best. Like, even though you started an army tank and then it ended up just being you on the back of a motorbike, it definitely still suited the theme.
Dude, it absolutely did. Another funny thing, we're lining up to go out, right? And we're waiting for the screen to, we're watching it on the screen. And there's a guy who's from TV, from Fox, and he's like telling you to go when you go. And he's like going like this. And just before he goes, like Ben's there chilling on the motorbike. I'm with Harry, and Harry's like, he's got his helmet shit on. He's like, I'm just going to take you for a spin out in the middle. What do you reckon? You just go for it. We're meant to go straight to the kid. He's like, we'll just go and do a bit of a spin back, rev the crowd up and shit. You're right. I'm thinking, fuck, I hope he doesn't just go and start doing jumps and shit with me on the back. Like, Anyway, so it was pretty funny, man. It was pretty funny. Good.
So that video is that online or was it just the one you sent me? Is that for anything?
The one that I sent you is for our show, but the other videos, I don't know. It was on Fox, but I don't know if it lives anywhere now,
I'm sure if it's been on somewhere in this day and age, surely it'll be somewhere on the internet. Has to be.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere out there. But this particular edit of it will come out, I think, in maybe December or something. Still a little bit
unreal.
Late.
Can't wait to watch. All right, brother. So just quickly, I'm just going to have a quick break, and I'm just going to go grab a coffee. But we got some sponsors, and we're just going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll be straight back into it. So catch you after the break, brother.
Working hard or hardly working, it doesn't really matter. Point is, it's the end of the week, time to kick off the boots, relax, and get away from all the bullshit.
And mate, you've earned it. And nothing better to forget about all this week's bullshit with the help of a bullshit lager. Smooth, crisp, bullshit taste, not to mention a bullshit price. Bullshit good. Bullshit lager. Get away from all the bullshit. All right, we're back. How you go, Dan?
Good. I cannot wait to have a listen to what that sponsor video is going to be.
Well, that's the best part about the show is that I don't know who the sponsors are until after the show.
I can't wait for that. That's a ripper. The first one had me in tears.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's dive into. Everyone knows you as DK Drums. We know you as the big dog, as all these exciting things that have happened over the most recent years, I think. But I want to know what I love knowing about people, and I think I've been fortunate enough to be behind the scenes playing in a band with you recently, is that I like hearing the stories about how things come about. Like how did, for a start, like you were, where were you born? Was it in Ballarat, Bendigo?
The Rat,
Ballarat,
we call it. Ballarat,
the Rat, that's what you call it. So when did you move out of there? How old were you when you left Ballarat?
Okay. Also quite a comical story.
I can't wait for this.
So I left school. I lived in Ballarat. I worked for like a year, maybe, I think at Telstra or something, maybe a year or two. And then maybe it's just 1 year. And then I moved to Melbourne with my band. So we were...
right. So you were a Ballarat band.
We were a Ballarat band, yeah. And we moved to Melbourne.
We called the Ballarats?
We were called the I was trying to think of something funny, but I'm not as fast as you with that shit. Perfect. I was gonna be bad. We were called Perfect Reason, right? So we moved.
Yeah.
We moved to Melbourne as a band. Long story short, moved to Melbourne as a band, and I told I went to university. I went to university to study town planning. Planning. Let's think about that. I was going to be a town planner.
Yeah. I think honestly, that would probably make sense because like you're all about big production planning.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could have put some, a road here, some fireworks here, a little bit of pyro there, some nice softbox in the street for selfies.
Like what? When people come into Ballarat, like, why don't they have a full-on production every time they go through the road coming into Ballarat? That'd be unreal. Everyone will come to Ballarat then.
Oh, mate, it would go off. Anyway, so we did that, and at the same time, I was just practicing every night. We had a house, big 5-bedroom house in the burbs, and we would literally all work and stuff and come home and band practice for like 3 hours a night. I don't know how we got away with it. Full bolt in our lounge room with neighbours. We had our big banner up and stuff. Anyway, so that from there it led to Behind Crimson Eyes because we were the Ballarat band. We'd end up getting a few numbers at our shows. Like we'd sell out 200 place venue in Ballarat.
Yep.
Just our mates and that. And anyway, when a touring band would come through and they hadn't, say, sold out the venue, say Behind Crimson Eyes, when they came through, they might have been 100 short or something. The promoter would put us on to help sell it out. So we started playing with a lot of good bands, and then when BCE were coming through, I hit up Scotty, their booking agent, and just said, "Who's playing drums?" No one. I said, "Sweet." I did some drum videos and that went from there.
One thing. Oh, okay, so you history. Didn't really have. Well, see, I thought you were mates of him somehow. Like, were you mates of him, or you just did the old audition video?
I did not know Behind Crimson Eyes. I punished Josh one night at Bang. I remember. I went out, I was friggin' 20 or something. I'd probably had 15 Jaeger bombs, and Josh was at Bang, and I remember that's when they were super popular, and I went up and kind of punished him briefly. He didn't give me much.
Nah.
And then anyway, I sent him some videos, and Azza rang me and said, sold. So I was so nervous practicing with him too. And I remember Garth was so nice. I just remember that first practice. It's actually, we practiced in the same building that I'm in right now. So this is a rehearsal space. I've got my room here. We're about two doors down. Nostalgia, mate. Yeah, 2 doors down. I remember it like it was yesterday, jamming with those boys.
How good. I said that with the podcast with Josh, is that I remember, because I didn't really know Garth then, but and I was like, it's weird when you want to join a band, but you don't really know someone. But Garth was definitely the outcast to me, but he ends up, like, thankfully being the nicest one out of everyone.
Yeah. Oh, he's so nice.
It's crazy.
That's funny. I always think about when you first meet, like, a group of people, I always remember who was the nicest one. It's just a weird thing I do. And I'm like, down the track, I'm going to remember that you were the nicest person to me at the start. It's just a weird game I play. Like, when I meet new groups of people, I just
it's first
really
impressions.
Notice. First impressions. I try to be a nice person. I try to be nice when someone's new, right? Because it's intimidating.
It always makes it. It is. Yeah. That's probably something I need to work on. I'm not sure if I'm good or bad at that, but I'm
the same.
I try not to be. I'm a good mate, but I don't know what I'm like. But before that, but yeah, you were with like. When I was talking to Josh about introvert and extrovert, it's kind of, you don't really know, because when you watch people in music, you assume they're always extroverts because they're always theatrical. They're in front of a huge crowd, but you don't realize that it takes a lot to get to that point, like with kind of adjusting your personality to get to that.
Oh, 100%. I remember watching the Bonesman film clip, and Josh was screaming in it like a freaking maniac. Like, I thought Josh was crazy before I met him. Like, he's just so nice. He's chill.
Exactly.
He's on his computer, playing a few games, very smart, kind of quiet. But on stage, it's like, geez, that guy's crazy. He must be a maniac.
Yeah, he's just
not say anything to him. He might bash me. He looks like a madman, but no, he's super chill.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah. All right. Well, so before then, were you doing much touring in your previous band?
No. We would go to like Adelaide a fair bit. Yeah. Adelaide was always good back then. We'd go to Adelaide and do some decent shows, and we went to Sydney. We went to Sydney and played a couple of gigs with this dodgy promoter. And I remember there was one gig at the casino, right? And we were like, yes, we're playing at the casino. This is sick. And the boys went there for a sound check, and it was like in a dungeon, like near the casino or something. And the stage was made out of milk crates.
Right.
Like, we did some shockers, man. I've done so many.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
They're the one, but you do remember them because
Like,
you appreciate when you get on these bigger stages that you had to do these shitty ones first.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So we did a little bit of that. Oh, lots of Geelong, lots of Ballarat, lots of Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney, a little bit of Sydney.
Sweet. Because so it was when you joined Behind Crimson Eyes that you did more of a interstate.
Oh man, when I first
gigs?
joined Behind Crimson Eyes, I could not believe it. Couldn't believe that you would play a gig in Brisbane. We're from Melbourne. There's enough money to catch aeroplanes there. you get there. There's gear there. You've caught an aeroplane. You're in a hotel room, and there's people are there to watch a band play. It's like when I first joined, I kept saying I was famous for it within the band. I was like, this is living. To Garth every 5 minutes. I was like, mate, on an airplane, going to a gig. This is living, bro. Shit. And they were all like, yeah, should be all right. I'm like, oh, fuck. On an airplane, going to a gig. I'm not paying for this ticket myself. What the hell? This is amazing.
I remember when you asked me to, like, if I was keen to play in the band. First of all, I was just like, yes. Like, you didn't have to go through the specifics of what is involved when you get to play, like, on these bigger shows. And then, but yeah, I was just like so stoked. I remember it was good because you were being all excited about it. Like, mate, like, you don't worry, everything's covered for. Flights, accommodation, it's all covered for. You just rock up, you just play the show. It's awesome. And I was like, you're kidding. Of course I'm a yes. And but when coming into the band, Josh was saying, like on his podcast, it was good having these fresh faces because it made you realize how lucky the positions were.
Bro, 100%. 100%.
Because it wasn't long before that, clearly with your previous band experience and mine as well, is that you do just the long drives, the 12-hour drives to play a show, and you get treated like shit half the time, and then you have to get in a car and do the same thing.
It's like when you start out playing music, no one cares. No one goes to your shows except for a few of your friends, and they're like doing it because they're nice. You know, you're losing all your money. You're playing shit venues. It sounds shit. It looks shit. Like if some of your friends come, like sometimes you'd be embarrassed. Like it's just like in the early stages. Like you do a gig, put your heart and soul into this thing. 7 people go. Just like that shit. Like I did so many gigs like that. It's fucking soul crushing. Like especially if you're not in your home city. Like we'd go to Melbourne. We'd play a gig. We did a gig at the Greyhound Hotel or something it was called, and it's like 7 people there. You know, like shit like that happens all the time. So it's when you're playing a gig and there's people there initially that care, it's so good. It's actually so hard to get to that point. To play a gig and have people there.
But when you start seeing these bands like get to this certain stage, just like that have done those hard yards, you really got to appreciate them because you're just like, you guys definitely deserve these positions that you're in right now because you did 100%. That. Like,
so much adversity along the way.
Yeah. Like, and a lot of people that are outside of music don't understand those early years that a band has to go through. With I forget who I was talking to about it, but I it was with Nick, my mate Nick. We'll in one of our podcasts, and we'll talk about the pandemic. I really genuinely feel sorry for the bands that were about to take off this year, and everything's just been put on hold. Like, so they've done so many years of just hard work. They've got the next 2 years, 3 years planned, but everything's just on hold now.
Yeah.
Like, shit. It's like you have to just power through, I reckon.
Yeah, for those bands, for the other bands, I think it would be. I think the worst spot in terms of bands would be if you're a band you live off your band, but you're not living that well. Like you're just living off your band. I reckon that would be the worst because it's all stopped. It's all over.
Yeah.
You could probably get JobKeeper, which wouldn't be too bad, but I think that would suck. For the bigger bands, they're okay for now. The smaller bands probably have jobs anyway. It'd be the mid-range bands, but really the people who are missing out right now are like the crew, like your techs, like sound guys, people who own production companies. But I know heaps of them. It's just I don't know when it's coming back. No one knows.
Oh, well, yeah. Like because you shared something last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Woggo, guitar tech. He used to be BCE's guitar tech. He's like the best guitar tech in the world kind of thing. Literally, like he works for everybody. He's super well respected in that field. But like, someone like that whose life is such a niche job. Like you're the best in the world at guitar teching. Like it's so random, and that's a sick lifestyle. But if that stops, then it's like, well, fuck. This sucks. What's next?
I think you got to re-innovate yourself for the time being. And to me, if you're a guitar tech, and a lot of people know, you'd have to it goes back to that. If you know people, maybe they could help you out at the time being, because a guitar tech to me would be the best person to do maintenance on guitars at the moment. So for your everyday person who needs, because we're all, a lot of us are at home now playing music and writing music. We want our guitars. Like the first thing I did when we were in lockdown was I took my guitars in to get serviced. So it's just I think that would be some way that you'd have to re-innovate yourself to get you through.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is all about that, just adapting and changing.
All right, brother. We've chatted a bit about drum moments and the situations you've been in with drums. I want to know if someone said, Dan, three best drum moments. What are they?
Good question. Okay.
And I'll tell you, and don't start with number one.
Okay, 3 best drum moments. Let me go with. There was one ripper when I started with BCE. We played this youth festival. I think it was Freezer or something. It was this big festival in Melbourne, Push Festival. We played that. I'd always wanted to play it, and I remember we were playing, and at the time I had 2 of my best mates come down to the gig. And halfway through our set, it was a sick show. It was like kids going crazy, 1,000 kids going nuts. We're playing it, and I saw 2 of my best mates. They were probably they were a bit older than me. They were probably 25, 26 at the time, jumping around with these 16-year-olds. There was 15-year-olds running up and launching off. Well, I got a couple of big mates. They were running up and launching off my mates' backs and shit like that. I remember I just felt the reason I just felt happy seeing my buddies in the crowd at this sick gig. It was the sickest gig I'd ever played at that point. And I remember seeing a couple of my mates. Fuck, that's wicked. That's one. Another, I've had some killer ones at 28 Days. We went to Afghanistan.
Oh, wow. Well, let's talk about that. I don't know many people that have gone to Afghanistan. I reckon probably you're the only one.
Yeah.
So
I'll
tell us
condense
about
that down because I could do a whole podcast on that. But this one particular gig, so here's the thing. You fly to Dubai, basically, in this military kind of plane, commercial plane they hire. Get to Dubai and they train you with all the soldiers at a military camp. So it's this is what happens if your arm gets blown off. This is what happens if your mate's leg gets blown off. 3 days of that. Don't touch the big camel spiders or whatever they are. That. Make sure you dehydrate. They got stretchers there that they're doing.
Don't touch the big camel spiders.
But all this kind of crazy shit, and And anyway, their stretchers have like blood and stuff on them. It was fucking like, we started shitting ourselves a little bit because, yeah. And anyway, so we did a few gigs there, and then,
Wow.
you know, the next day it's like, all right, we're going to Afghanistan tomorrow. And you got this crew, and like, you know, your lighting guy, sound guy has a machine gun. They've all got machine guns. We get on this Hercules airplane. We had a Hercules airplane to ourselves, like a freaking Hercules with 28 days on it and a pallet of gear. That's it. It's normally got helicopters and tanks and shit. And anyway, so then you take off, and you know, you get above Afghan airspace, and the guy running the tour comes out with his machine gun, and he's like, righto, boys, put your helmets and your armor on. We're in fucking Afghanistan. And you chuck it on, and you're like, fuck. And then, like, sirens were going off, and we were in the cockpit with the pilots, and we're like, what's that siren? And they're like, oh, we're getting shot at. Like, what do you mean we're getting shot at? They're like, we're just getting shot at. It could be guns, could be missiles. What? We don't know. Could be anything. We can't see a missile on the radar. Apparently, they've got these devices that if they get shot at any type of shooting, that this siren goes off. They're probably like, it's probably just the Taliban shooting us with machine guns in the hills. They're just not going to get us. It's fine. So, should they like?
Oh my god! It's like, okay.
But anyway, so that's crazy shit. And then you get to the base, right? You get to the base. So we land in Afghanistan, and the you know, the door opens and our bus is there, and I run to the bus. I'm out. I'm not hanging around for this shit. I read the news. You guys didn't read the news. I read it. I'm out. Straight into the bus. It's crazy, man. And then a memorable gig with that was we had to drive through Kandahar, which is the capital city, to this tiny little army base on the edge of the city, which has all of this like action between some of the locals and the army, right? So we're in these big armored vehicles, and they just drive straight over the roundabouts and shit like that because they're worried that people are going to come up and blow themselves up next to them, all this stuff. So we get there, and then we played this gig for probably like 50 army dudes, Aussies, and they just freaking loved it. It was sick. We played on the back of an army truck. We played on the back of an army tank, like this big truck, and then all parked down the side were all their tanks and their bushmasters and stuff, and they were just sitting on them, just chilling out, watching us play. It was sick.
Yeah, wow. Far out. To go to that and then to come home and, like, you know, you're only allowed a 5K radius, you'd be like, that's fine, I'll stay here. I don't want to go back to
you know what? When I was there, the number
here.
one thing I thought was, fuck, we got a good back home. Like, we can just walk down the road and get a coffee. No worries.
Yeah, definitely.
No, over there,
exactly.
It wasn't good at that point anyway.
More than pandemics going on over there. Oh, that's not a music experience. That is just an experience in itself.
It was a good experience to
like,
just get some
straight up
perspective and just see what they do. Like the soldiers would go there for like 10 months, and that like one particular guy was a lookout over the base, and he would just sit in there like for like 15, 16 hours a day. That's it for months. So having a band or someone come over and entertain them, they love it because it just breaks up that monotony.
All right, now tell me number one.
Look, number one. Look, there's lots of number ones. There's been some good Bliss Eso ones.
Yeah.
There's been the drum off thing when the riser went up at the Supercross and we finished. Yeah. That was when we both finished. That was a big one because I was like, I can't believe we just pulled that off.
Yeah, that is just. It must have been overwhelming. Like all
a little bit.
Yeah. Cause
I was as soon as it was done, I was like, fuck, we just pulled that off. Like, I was worried I was going to stuff up too. Like, that's another thing. Yeah. So when we hit the top, I was pretty happy. Funny thing about that, we had like these fireworks shooting out from the front of our kits.
Far out.
And I had to remember that they were going off at this particular point because I was like, I know if I don't think about it and I'm up there doing the drum solo and fireworks start shooting out of my kick drum, I'm fucking this whole thing up. Because I'll be like, ah! You know? Wow. So, anyway. So, it's been some good journeys, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good journeys.
Yeah. So, well, mate, I'll tell you what.
Let's get BCE back together and go and do some more, brother, once we can.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. I'm always a yes. With that group chat, you and I spoke to Josh about this as well, is Slack. You and I are apparently the worst on it because I'm like, well, it's called
I'm not
Slack.
even on it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I deleted it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I forgot about
I was
it.
like, just email me. Just send me an email.
Just call me. I don't know. But
Text me.
yeah, just that's the thing is that apparently all the shows and that go through that. And
Right.
I remember I was always on. I was like, yes. Like if there's a gig that comes through, yes. I don't even ask how much, where it is. I'm just yes. Because I just want to hang with the boys. But
hang with the boys and play a gig. Definitely. Yes.
So I think I might have to get the Slack back on the phone. Just have a quick update. There's probably something in there. We just haven't checked it.
Yeah. Well, if there's anything good, Az will be on the blower straight away. Even if there's something crap, Az will be on the blower. I think it's got some potential. I think this thing's got some potential.
I think anything's got potential.
Az is always a yes too. He's like, this gig sounds pretty good. It's got potential. That's right.
I love that.
I mean, like, yes.
I was actually speaking to Az as well. We're hopefully going to do a podcast very soon. So
that'd be great.
I'd love to get into the world of Az. Just how things have happened for him over the years. Just I couldn't. Have you seen photos of his son? Like he's just all of a sudden like I reckon Robbie, he'd be as big as me by now. Just that.
Yeah.
The as a gene, just I'm like, wasn't he born yesterday? He's huge.
I know. He's big.
Yeah, big
Just
tall
like his
boy.
daddy.
That's it. What do you got on for the rest of the day? What's the Dan schedule looking like?
So I've got to record 4 beats that I forgot to record, and then I've got to figure out how to export these videos properly. That's my job for the day, and then that's going to I'll call one of my mates, and then that will determine if I have a good day or a bad day. And either way, I'm just going to jump right into it and get it done.
Mate, we got this done, and to me, that's a good day.
It's a great day. Yeah, well, this has been a big highlight, man. Big highlight.
Yeah, big highlight.
Big highlight of the week.
It won't be the last. We'll definitely do another one. See how things go.
I love it.
We got to touch base after every major project that happens.
Oh, definitely.
I want to know when this comes out. We're going to touch base when is it going to be an app or what will be
website predominantly. There will also be an app as well. There'll be both. It'll be mobile. It'll be everything. I'm going all out.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it just depends at what different stages, different things will come out because it's so big.
There's so much work involved in that.
So much work. Yeah, I just got to release bits as I go.
Awesome. Well, brother, cool. I've actually. Well,
I just lost a camera. It's a good time to wrap it up.
Oh, great time. All right, brother, let's finally wrap it up. So, for those out there, how do we find Dan Kerby?
Okay, so basically it's predominantly Instagram. It's just at Dan Kerby. Facebook's DK Drums Academy. YouTube's just Dan Kerby. Big thing coming out, Frank Zumo. Zumo times Kerby, Travel Meets Drums, coming out October. 3 episodes, 1 a month. Behind the scenes in the middle of the month. And then episode 4 we're working on actually this weekend. And then virtually. And then hopefully next year we'll be traveling again, brother. We'll keep that thing rolling.
Can't wait. Oh, you are the content king, I reckon.
Yes.
I love it. I love the energy. I love the performances. Good on you.
Thanks for having me, brother. Great to chat.
All right. Chat to you soon, brother.
Rock on, bro. Bye.